Good evening. I call the September 25th, 2025 meeting of the Park Hill Board of Education to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for silencing your phones this evening. The first thing we need to do tonight is swear in a new board member, so I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Freeman.
Thank you. It's my honor this evening to swear in our newly appointed board member, Mrs. Norris. Can you come up here? All right, if you'll raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Missouri, and that you will honestly, faithfully, and impartially discharge your duties as a school board member to the best of your ability? I do. Okay. Congratulations. Welcome to Park Hill School Board.
Welcome, Ms. Norris. I would like to remind the board of our norms. Stay in the role of a board member, be respectful, be inclusive, be prepared, and be mission driven. And remind everyone of our school district mission statement. Through the expertise of an engaged staff, the Park Hill School District provides a relevant education and a safe, caring environment to prepare each student for success in life. Board members, any announcements this evening? Ms. Barnes.
Good evening. Yes, so this is National Hispanic Awareness Month, so we would need to celebrate that. And on that, I just have a wonderful quote that I think helped summarize. It is important for all of us to appreciate where we come from and how that history has really shaped us in ways that we might not understand. And that is from Supreme Court Justice Sayona Sotomayor. And so I just make sure that we are respecting and following all our drivers and narratives in our DEIB.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes. Ms. Woodley.
Just wanted to make sure that our board members know or saw the email or information about at the MSBA conference coming up that there's going to be MUBA presentation, and it's the Missouri Unified Boards Alliance. And if you need more information about that, Tina probably has it, or I do. That's it.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mrs. Norris.
Am I live? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to be here, and thank you to the board for the appointment and to serve the district. And I just look forward to learning more about the amazing things that Park Hill has to offer the community.
Thank you. Mr. Dodd.
I just wanted to say congratulations on joining the board with us here, and also thank you so very much to all of the candidates who put themselves forward for consideration for this open seat that is now filled. It's a big task, and it's wonderful that we had so many people from our community step forward to say that they wanted to shoulder that responsibility.
Thank you, Mr. Dodd. Ms. Bolden.
None, thank you.
Mr. Monses.
None, thank you.
Okay. Dr. Carable, any additional announcements?
Yeah, I just had one. I wanted to report back to the board that last week I am on the State of Missouri Commissioners Advisory group this year, and last week had the opportunity to be with superintendents from around Missouri to provide feedback directly to our commissioner, and she is fairly new in that role and did a great job of, I think, listening to concerns from across the state. One key piece that I continue to talk about is the calendar and the ability to provide local control to be able to start when local boards would like to provide more freedom throughout the year. So just know that that's a conversation that we're having. Thank you.
Okay. All right, and also on the MSBA topic that Ms. Woodley brought up, the MSBA Delegate Assembly packet was sent out in email, so be sure to check that out. And there's the positions and the MSBA stance on those positions are all listed out in there. So. All right, we'll move on to item 2, adoption of the agenda. I'll need a motion and a second to adopt the September 25th, 2025 agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Mrs. Woodley and a second by Ms. Boland to adopt the agenda as presented. Dr. Kimbrell, are there any modifications?
None tonight, thank you.
All right, board, do you have any modifications? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Any abstained? All right, motion carries 7-0. All right, we'll now move on to item 3, recognitions and awards, and I'll turn it over to Mrs. Weichel.
Good evening, testing. Students, come on up. You're our only recognition tonight, and you know who you are. We've already talked. Come on up. Tonight, we are here. You guys come stand right here, and then I'll have you introduce yourselves in one moment. Tonight, we are pleased to recognize our National Merit semifinalists. These are students from both Park Hill High School, Park Hill South, and Lead Innovation Studio. And these 6 students are out of 1.3 million students, seniors among just 16,000 seniors who earned semifinalist status in the National Merit Program. So these students now have the opportunity to earn somewhere in the ballpark of $26 million collectively to be awarded next spring if they get to become National Merit finalists, which we're all hoping you guys do. I'm going to have them introduce themselves, tell you who they are, where they go to school, and the question is, what are you going to do next year? It's a big question.
All right, my name is Jonah Hicks. I go to Park Hill South High School, and next year I plan on going to college, but which college is the problem. This is fingers crossed, but the goal is Princeton. It's a high task, but that's where I want to be.
You're up for it. All right.
My name is Jason Worcester. I go to Park Hill South High School as well. And my plan for next year is to go to college somewhere for creative writing.
Hi, my name is August Sturm. I go to Lead Innovation Studio, and my plan for next year is to go to University of Wisconsin-Madison to study education in middle school, and that college choice might change depending on how the college trip goes this weekend, because I visited in spring break and I've heard it's very snowy usually. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out.
My name is Angela Hope Villamayer. I go to Park Hill High School. Next year, I will be going to college for architecture. I'm not sure exactly where I'll be going, but I will probably be staying around here in the Midwest somewhere.
My name is Kai Su. I also go to Park Hill High School. After high school, I hope to pursue a career in medicine, hopefully at UMKC, fingers crossed. Yeah.
I'm Malcolm Hunt. Next year I hope to pursue, I go to Park Hill. Next year I hope to do something in accounting at any school.
Okay. If you're a parent or a guardian, please wave at us. Congratulations, parents and guardians. You should be so proud. All right, you guys are going to shake the board's hand, and then we'll take a photo. Congratulations. In August, this is Dr. Amy Dillon, HR. If you go in education, you need to meet her.
Congratulations so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Okay. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Congratulations.
Yeah, I got a handshake. Thanks.
All right, we'll now move on to item 4, public comment. During this part of our agenda, we will receive public comments from patrons who pre-registered by the noon deadline today. We had one patron pre-register. When called upon by the board president, patrons are to approach the presenter station, speak into the microphone, and state your name before making comments. Each speaker will have a 3-minute time limit. The board secretary will monitor the time. Please direct your comments to the entire board. Generally, board members will not provide any response during public comment. However, if needed, board members and/or district staff may provide a response at a later time. Discussion about individual staff members or students is not allowed. Tonight, we have Melanie Hall. Can you please approach the presenter station and begin whenever you're ready?
Okay. You are live. Hi, my name is Melanie Hall. First and foremost, I would like to thank you all for allowing me to speak today. I'm here as a concerned parent. My student feels as if her concerns are not valid and that she doesn't have a voice at Park Hill High School. Her and her peers have also expressed some of the same concerns, and that's why I'm here today. I wrote out an agenda and I was going to pass it out to you all, but maybe I can have my husband pass it out to you. One of the main issues that we have had here over the last 2 years have been the school schedules. Once you get these schedules, they tell the parents that these schedules are final. There's no changes to these schedules. Well, my daughter is currently sophomore in college. So she takes AP classes along with dual credit classes. Well, I just found out that when you get the dual credit classes, it's not stated on there that these are college classes, only the AP classes say AP on the schedule. So I would like to make a recommendation that moving forward as a concerned parent that you all can put on the schedules that if it's an AP class, says this is an AP class. If it's a dual credit class, it's a dual credit class. Because what has happened over the last 2 years is my student has taken these classes previously, and we're taking them again when we come in to Park Hill, because it's not stated that it's a dual credit class on the schedule. So this year, when I went to enroll her, she's currently taking 12 credit hours at Maple Woods. When I went to enroll her to pay for her last 3 credit hours, I had a bill from Park Hill High School to Maple Woods for the English 101 and 102 course. And I'm like, she already has taken English 101 and 102. She took English 101, that's what she tested in her sophomore year, and she took English 102 over the summer at Maple Woods. If I had known as a parent that she had already taken these courses, I would have just let her sign up through Park Hill for these courses. We would allow that to happen, but let me go on and move down on with that. So that was just one concern. And then when it's, as far as the dropping classes or withdrawing classes, say I have Mr. Joe Blow or Mrs. Who whatsoever, and they're not really,
Time.
I'm sorry, yeah, you have 3 minutes allowed for public comment.
Was that 3 minutes? Oh, that's why I passed them out, but whatsoever. I just feel like it's a station for grade disputes. If there's grade disputes, it should be made to all parents. They should know the form that we should be able to provide that with. And the counselor should make all students, I just want the other parents aware of.
We have your outline. We'll review that and we'll ask
Okay.
administration to.
Well, I'm just gonna read this real quick. Making sure the counselors are informing all students about internships and certificate programs that are available through the Park Hill School District. The students also wanted to reinstate prime, queen, and king, and minorities are not receiving the same or similar disciplinary actions as their peers for the same types of offenses. And thank you all for your time today.
All right, thank you for coming in tonight. All right, All right, well, moving on to item 5 is our consent agenda. Before I call for a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda, are there any items that need highlighted? Dr. Kimbrell.
I do have one that I'd like to highlight for the board this evening, and it is item 5.9, the one that is titled Investment Services for Proposition O Bond Proceeds. The reason why I want to highlight this is the timeline on it and where we are asking the board to take this into consent and action for the first read. The reason for that is this week we issued $128 million in bonds that we had a sale, and was a very successful day on Tuesday for the district. In fact, we had $12 million additional offered in premium from the bank that was the winning bid. So those dollars will get reinvested into the projects that we have coming in the Series 2025 bonds. The timeline problem is that we will be receiving and closing on those funds before your next board meeting, and we need to have those put into a place where those will be earning interest and being invested appropriately. We are recommending that we continue our service with PTMA and MOCAT for investing bond funds. They are the ones that have invested our previous $137 million bonds in the Series 2022. And they put forward, along with Dr. Kelly, I believe it was 6 bids, is that right? For we put this out to bid for the services, and we had 6 bids, and they had the best proposal and are our current service provider. So we're recommending that, and I would ask the board to allow us to waive first read to put that in consent tonight. That is the only one I wanted to point out, but I'd be happy to answer any other questions.
Board, any questions? Okay. Then I'll need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items 5.2 through 5.13 as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
A motion from Mr. Todd and a second by Ms. Boland to approve the consent agenda as submitted. Any further discussion?
I just want to say one thing about bringing this in as a first read. Since it's such a large financial, if this wasn't a vetted company already, but it is, since we're already doing business with them, I would be much more hesitant.
Appreciate the feedback there. Yeah, I agree. And that was one of the pieces of them being selected.
All right, thank you, Mr. Monson. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. Any abstained? All right, motion carries 7-0. All right, item 7 tonight is our information presentations, 2025 bond project design process update. I'll turn it over to Dr. Kimbrell and Dr. Fry.
Thank you. As we have our presenters getting situated there, we have Megan Williams from Hollis & Miller along with Dr. Marcus Fryatt, who's our Chief Operations Officer, who are going to present our current status and process for our design teams on the Series 2025 bonds that I was just talking about in that bond program. Specifically, in these bond program funds, you will hear about Park Hill High School Phase 1 replacement and Park Hill South Stadium improvements are the two larger projects that we are getting going. Tonight, our purpose is high-level process to inform you where we're at getting started on this. I want to remind the board that you have a November 7th work session, and one of the agenda items that we will have on that work session is time for our architecture partners to come in and work with you to get your input and feedback with more detail at that time. Tonight's presentation is a little bit more about status and process and where we're at. So with that, Dr. Fry.
Awesome. Okay, well, we will get going here pretty quick. I'm going to give a real quick overview of how we got here. Again, reminding you of your timeline on the 2025 bond projects, and then Megan will work through what our process is for design. She's going to do the majority of the speaking this evening. So just a quick reminder, and again, thank you to the community for passing propositions G and O being the one in which it allows us to move forward with the bond or the 2025 bonds. So on April 8th, that was passed, and now we're here, and we've done a lot of work to get here today. And so if we look at this timeline, it's really small on this screen. It is nothing new to you. You have seen it before. But just a reminder of the different projects Dr. Kimbrell shared with Park Hill High School Phase 1 replacement. We have a handful for athletic facility upgrades that we're doing as well. Toward the end of these projects in the sequencing, you'll see that there are 3 additions to 3 of our elementary schools, along with various upgrades across the district. And so those timelines still could change a little bit as we continue to work with Hollis and Miller and Newkirk Novak, who will be our construction managers. But it's fairly stable right now as to where these windows are going to lie and how this construction is going to work. Where we are right now is we have started design process and the design teams for Park Hill High School Phase 1 replacement. We're slightly further along when it comes to Park Hill High School stadium upgrades and field improvements. We will begin other projects and building design, as you can see on this timeline, a little bit later this semester and into next semester, and you'll really start to see that progress going. With that, Megan will take it.
Thanks, Dr. Friett. So for those of you who have worked with us before, some of this will not be new to you. You know what our process looks like. Want to take the time to bring everyone along, though. So really, as we do as a design team, both Hollis and Miller and the district, we walk through a co-creation process. So that is all of our parties working together to build the most successful projects for you. Our challenge in that is often with diverse stakeholders. We have a lot of different thoughts and opinions about where we should go. So throughout this process, through the general to specific process you'll see here in a moment, our goal is to align all of those various stakeholders' goals and priorities so that it's successful for everyone, successful outcomes for each one of those individual stakeholders. We'll kind of cover, Dr. Friett mentioned, we've got a lot of projects that are coming down the pipeline. However, the ones that we are working on currently with myself as client leader over all of our projects and Christine Dorn as our educational resource. Right now we have Philip Korthenke as our project lead for that Park Hill High Phase 1 replacement. And then Grant Tommy, who is our lead for all of those Bundle 2 athletics projects. So right now he's working on Park Hill South with those stakeholders, and then he will move on to work with the Park Hill High stakeholders as we move into that process. A little bit further along, we have some other team members that are going to support us in our elementary additions, as well as any of those on-call projects that you might need as they come up. So to get into one of my favorite things, design process, like I mentioned, this is a multi-layered process. So long time, you guys are going to stick with us all the way through it, and we're going to get through it. But really what we're highlighting here is that we go from our step 1 in master planning all the way through that construction. We're going general to specific there. So we start by designing first in words. We like to understand what the district's priorities are, understand all of the nitty-gritties of who, what, how we're getting all those parts and pieces put together. And then we're architects, so we like to draw things, right? And so the next step is to test ideas, bring those forward to your stakeholders for their input and feedback. And then lastly, at the end of this, we're going to have nice construction projects, buildings, stadiums, nice facilities for you guys to inhabit for your students and community and staff. So just to cover each step of this process, I'm going to walk through it pretty quickly. But right now we are in programming on Park Hill High School. So we're in that kind of first phase of things. Depending on the complexity of the project, sometimes these individual steps take longer or shorter. As Dr. Friett mentioned, we're a little bit further on those Park Hill South stadium and field designs than we are with Park Hill High, but each one of the projects will step through this process. So in programming, these are the types of items that your design teams can expect to see. We conduct peer tours, we solicit feedback from your district leadership as well as that design team on and align that with your district's instructional vision for these projects. The next big step that we step into is conceptual and schematic design. So this is what I was mentioning before in the idea testing. This is really where function is coming into play. We're testing those ideas, seeing what adjacencies float to the top. We're understanding all of the functionality that you need within these projects. As we move into design development, this is where the old adage form over function, or function over form, or both. So this is where we start to really explore the look and the feel of your projects. So we've taken care of the function and schematic design. Design development is really all about what is this going to feel for your students, staff, and community at the end of the day when we build these projects. So these are some of the things you can kind of see that's some of the exploration we did for Walden back in the day. And then as we move into documentation, this is where we, as architects and designers and engineers, do our heads down work. So this is, we're still in coordination with district leadership and those departments that we need feedback from, but we will say thank you to our design team, and we'll move into translating their vision into reality, something that a construction manager, Newkirk Novak, can build in the field. And then lastly, construction. So with a successful bidding process that will, Dr. Spright and Dr. Kelly will bring to you for board recommendation, we'll hand that off to Newkirk Novak to construct your projects. We stay involved throughout that process, however, ensuring the quality and compliance with and conformance with the bid documents. And at the end of the day, we get to celebrate with you. We get to see your community members and your staff and your students excited to come and use those projects. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about in this process, the critical component really here for us in that co-create process is your stakeholders. And so we have several different groups in which we engage. Your core team are those design teams. So these are the representatives that your district leadership has put together. Oftentimes it's principal, key building members, staff, students, and community members to get that diverse perspective for those design team meetings to ensure we're all on the same page. As we go throughout the process, like I mentioned, we'll have specialized department meetings with those disciplines, maybe your technology department, your nutrition services department, that are highly specialized, that we need to get the district standards exactly right and understand what the design solution looks like. And then lastly, but not least, is our student staff engagement and our broader community engagement. So we've worked with Drs. Kimbrell, Dr. Spriat, and Kelly Wachel on establishing some really exciting engagement opportunities that I'll cover here in a moment, but really excited on our engagement opportunities for that broader context. So just some examples of what that looks like. This is us active already in this design process on both Park Hill South and Park Hill High, exploring different options, presenting to those design team members, getting their feedback and input on the projects thus far. Another way that we solicit feedback is kind of asynchronously from those design team meetings. Oftentimes we find that there's some intermediate information that we need. So we assign homework, right? We have to be in line with what you guys do as educators. And so we oftentimes get additional information and input through these homework exercises. Surveys are another great tool that we use to engage your stakeholders. We've used this with your community members in the long range plan. We do this with staff and students as well when there's something specifically that we want to address with them. And then last but not least, I kind of previewed, we do have on the books, which we'll cover here in a moment, for some targeted specific community, staff, and student engagement opportunities as we go throughout this process for all of those projects. And so with that, what we can look forward to for the remainder of the year and looking into spring of 2026, got a lot of stuff planned, so bear with me here. So at Park Hill South, we have a community night planned for the week of the 10-13. And then we also have that same week, we're gonna be real busy up here that week. We have staff lunch and learns. So we'll sit with staff during their planning periods, during lunchtime, give them an overview of where we are in the process, what they can expect from the remainder of the process. And then we're looking to put both Park Hill South projects, both the stadium and the field improvements, out to bid in that December and January timeframe, so right around the holidays. But we are tracking really well for those bid dates. Park Hill High, we also have very similar engagement opportunities. So looking at a community night on 10/14 for that one. We also have staff lunch and learns that same week. Again, very busy up here. But we'll have 2 opportunities for staff to meet with us there to ask questions, provide feedback. And then a little bit later on, we're going to meet with Dr. Kimbrell's advisory committee for a student engagement activity where we're planning to charrette with them on where we are in the process, give them voice and choice in the shaping of the high school there. And then the plan for that one is to be out to bid next July. So that one's, again, the difference in time as far as the design process. We're looking to put that one out to bid with a little bit more space. And then not to lose sight, we do have our baseball field relocation and our stadium improvements for Park Hill High. So those will start, kick off in December timeframe, and then we will look to schedule additional community and staff and student engagement opportunities as we get that kicked off. So lots of exciting stuff coming up on the horizon. We're very excited to provide you updates along the way. And with that, we'll take any questions from the board.
I just want to say thank you for including the students in your advisory council or committee for getting their input. I know they helped with the previous designs that we just are opened and opening soon. So
Yeah.
I really appreciate the student voice aspect of it.
Yeah. I think one other thing, I think you guys mentioned it, but just for the board's knowledge, I think it was last week, a week ago, that you went on a bus tour and you went to 3 comprehensive high schools in the metro area. So Platte County High School, Lee Summit High School, and Olathe West. Platte County High School and Lee Summit High School have the age of a Park Hill High School, but have done either significant phase replacement and or renovations. And then Olathe West High School is probably the most recent new build of a full comprehensive high school in the metro area. So the design team got an opportunity to see those buildings on the ground, walk through them, get tours. What do you like? What do you not like? So that they can kind of put that all together. And I heard that that was a really great trip. And so thank you guys for taking the full day to go on a bus tour and take them around the city.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for all your hard work, and we look forward to November 7th, where we can get some more details and give some input.
Yep, you bet.
All right, item 8 is our information items for tonight. We have items 8.1 and 8.4 are relative to bids, contracts, and agreements, or 8.1 through 8.4, and 8.5 is relative to curriculum. Dr. Kimbrell, are there any items you want to highlight?
The only one I'll point out just to make mention of is I know Dr. Stucker's been working a lot on this particular curriculum item of an AP cybersecurity new course. We believe that that's a really important course to have for our students in this day and age, and I wanted to point that out. Nothing else to add, but just be happy to answer any questions.
Questions, board? Okay. The board will be asked to take action on these items at the October 9th, 2025 regular meeting. Next, we have board member reports and requests. Mr. Monses, do you have any reports or requests tonight?
None for the public session.
Okay. Ms. Boland?
None, thank you.
Mr. Todd?
I would just like to make sure that somebody follows up with Ms. Hall to make sure that.
Absolutely. We'll keep you posted on how that conversation goes.
All right. Yep. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Todd, for bringing that up. Mrs. Norris?
None.
Okay. Mrs. Woodley?
I was gonna, same as Mr. Todd, just making sure that, I would just make sure, I would like to get information about anything else going on at Park Hill High School that student voice may not be being heard, or there's some inequities going on, because all of our students deserve to feel like they belong and dealt with and have a good experience at their high school, at every school.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Barnes?
I'd just like to reiterate everything that was just said by Ms. Woodley and Mr. Todd, and making sure that there's a big follow through. And even if we don't have all the information at the moment, at least come back and let us know what the process is. It doesn't have to all be together.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes. All right, we'll now adjourn to closed session. I will need a motion and a second to adjourn to closed session for the purpose of discussing matters relevant to legal and personnel pursuant RSMO 610.021, 1, 3, and 13.
So moved.
Second.
All right, I have a motion from Mr. Todd and a second by Ms. Barnes to adjourn to closed session to discuss legal and personnel matters. Ms. Freeman, can you call the roll?
Barnes,
Yes.
Bowen,
Yes.
Monsis,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Terwilliger,
Yes.
Todd,
Yes.
Woodley.
Yes.
All right, board members, please remember to turn off your mics, and a reminder to remain seated until the live stream fades. Thank you. Please return at 7:15.